Okay, today we'll talk about 401k deduction configuration. So before that, so 401k is nothing but a retirement savings accounts in US and mandatory plan. So, okay, two things. The retirement savings is part of benefit plan. The benefit team will create this retirement savings plan and assign to the employee at certain percentage. Later, once they assign the percentage, then as a payroll consultant, we need to create a deduction to fetch the percentage amount from the benefit plan and calculate with the base pay or total base or calculate with the base pay and deduct this 401k from the employee's paycheck. So let me give some heads up. Here, the source is benefit plan, that's 401k. You can see this employee, Mr. Johnson. You can navigate his benefits. The benefit team will create 401k plan. Okay, we're talking about this one. 401k plan they will create. And once they create the 401k plan, they will assign to the worker. So now if you can see here, the employee is contributing around 13% from the employee's paycheck. Employee's paycheck, 13% he is contributing. So what does it mean? Let's say an employee base pay is $5,000 multiplied by 13 divided by 100. Around $650 the employee 401k deduction per per month. That's a VT for per month. So here, what benefits team is doing, just they're assigning the 13%. Payroll team responsibility is fetch this 13%, calculate on the base pay, and deduct the required amount, something like this. So how to get this benefit plan? What is the source? What is the limitations? We'll discuss in today's topic. First thing, we have to ensure the plan must be available and assigned to the worker. Further, if you want to drill down, this is a 401k plan. Then this is how the plan will be set up by benefits team. Employee can maximum contribute up to 35%. But this employee is opting for 13% per pay cycle. Now we need to create a deduction for this benefit plan. So how to do that? Access the task first, create deduction. Enter the name. Code, access the reference ID. The same thing as we already discussed for multiple earnings also. If you want to override this deduction name, you can override it. Country, restricted to US. From 2000 past date I'm selecting because we have pay request at that time. Regular run category. Now here, who is eligible for this deduction? We have all 401k is one of the mandatory benefit plan USA. Workday is already given all the calculations. So we have to just select the required calculations. Select the worker eligibility. The Workday derivative calculation. which means if any employee has the benefit plan, percentage benefit plan, and the amount is greater than equal to 0, then the employee is eligible. These are the standard calculations for 401k. We are not getting any custom. Example, returns true if the benefit plan is associated with the deduction exists for worker. So what does that mean? Deduction 401k is associated with the defined contribution pay per job. Okay, this is an example. If any employee has a benefit plan that is percentage based, and if the employee has some percentage in the plan, that employee is eligible. And also select one more standard rules. This is like we have to remember this calculations. Retirement wages reduced by non-convertible reduced by NQDC. Okay, standard formula. So employee should have the plan, and whatever the amount that employee has, it should be non-convertible. Sometimes what happened, I hired an employee and I have to deduct certain amount from the employee's paycheck, but the benefit team is not a benefit plan yet. Without source, how can I proceed to deduct? So that's why I need a placeholder here, which means payroll input. So I will also select either go with a logic calculation, Workday delivered, or go with payroll input exists for pay component. So what does that mean? If any employee has a benefit plan, that employee is eligible, or I can immediately on ad hoc basis process and deduct the amount to the payroll input. So we may run into such scenarios. For instance, you hired an employee, core HR team hired an employee. Benefits team is responsible to assign benefits. Payroll cutoff date is very near to that. The benefits team is not completed the activity. But payroll team, without assigning the benefit plan, this calculation doesn't work. So we have a placeholder. Manually, we'll deduct the amount. Okay. And scroll down. Calculation also Workday has provided. That is base unprorated by percentage. This is Workday delivered calculation exclusive for 401k. What is meant by base unprorated multiplied by percentage? This is an arithmetic calculation. The same logic here we are taking. Employee base pay is $5,000. Percentage of benefit plan is 13%. Now in payroll, we're bringing this amount, something like base pay percentage, 5,000 multiplied by 13%. The value will be 650 or 630. The system will calculate that amount. Okay. And it's a deduction, no proration. Scroll down. So we have to remember a point. Whenever you select multiple calculation, base pay percent, rate or units, or rate or hourly wage, you must also create related calculations. Why do you need to create? Because you're calling and calculating two components, base plus benefit percentage. So we have a dependency, add two rows here. In the first one, base pay unprorated, right? Call the base pay unprorated here. And the override value here, search for retirement savings wages. And to be honest, there is no exclusive meaning for this related calculations. It's a like standard calculation Workday provided. You have to remember and enter the value. Eligible wages. So this is also a Workday own calculation. So we're using to override. Okay. Scroll to the right. This is called limit section. There might be certain limits for certain deductions, cannot be deducted more than certain value. And 401k is IRS government retirement savings account. There is a section called 415. 401k is a retirement savings. 415 is a section, eligible wages limit. An employee can contribute maximum up to $19,500. An employee in one tax year. An employee cannot go beyond that value, especially on 401k. That's why we have to maintain limit here at a deduction level. So here on the limit value, search for section 415. Section 4 eligible wages. Until when? For a month, for year, or quarterly, or half yearly. For year, which means till this year, current calendar year. Year to date. Yeah. Now what we're trying to say here is this base pay unprorated must be calculated on the retirement savings wages, Workday own calculation. The whatever the calc for 1K wages, which means base pay, all the components of the employee, pay component group. The wages, if the whatever the calculation is coming, that should not be greater than equal to section 415 eligible wage. Here we will maintain the limit. As of this year, the contribution should not go beyond the limit. That's what we are trying on this one row. So display on the payslips. So we will select the result. Any questions, ma'am, on this screen? I know this is a tricky part, but especially for 401k hourly wages, when you are creating this standard payment, standard calculations.
Initially, we have discussed NQDC, one word, payroll related.
Non-convertible deduction contributions. I think. 1 second, I will confirm. This is the terminology to calculate wages. I will confirm. Sorry, no, one correction. Non-qualified deferred compensation, which means bonuses, tips, and all the other additional income are not supposed to calculate for the 401k amount. That's why we are excluding those values.
Non-qualified?
Non-qualified deferred compensation.
Default composition.
So which means if the employee get any bonus, incentives or tips or company gifts or whatever, amount in the monetary benefit, the amount should not be calculated for the percentage. That's why we give and condition, which means consider only the plan percentages. You are not considering bonus, incentive, you are not considering gift amount or any company. Sudden, to make it simple, some companies what they will do. For example, my company, if I perform well, they may give me a paycheck, a super employee, and they may give me $1,000 as part of appreciation. That amount should not be included for calculation. That's what we are saying here. Okay.
Okay. And calculation details, in calculation details, we have taken the base unprorated.
Right, ma'am.
Yeah,
Base
here they won't, as a retired employees, we don't have the attendance. Because of that, we have taken unprorated or.
Right, ma'am. So always the 401k must be calculated based on unprorated. So prorated
For
will
any
be
type of employees.
right. To make it simple, for hourly wage employees, exempt employees, they may not be eligible for 401k. For them, we'll do prorations, right? So that's the reason. But by default, unprorated. So to make it simple, what we are saying is, for example, I'm earning $10,000 per month, my base pay. In 1 month, I work for 15 days. Now my compensation is supposed to get $5,000. But the percentage is still calculated for 10,000. Okay, it's not going to calculate 5,000. Okay, that's what we are saying here, unprorated. Okay. The next one is base, another one is percentage. So enter the value here, percent. And this we have to remember, no other option. To be honest, in real time when we're implementing, in the GMS runs, we'll do a copy paste. So override value, the calculation benefits percentage. Because the configuration quite remains same, it's not going to change at any cost. So display the result, completely go to the right hand side, display the result on the payslip. Current means it will display only current month amount. Current and balance means it will display balance amount needs to be paid, that is also it will display. This means sometimes if the deductions are 0, so we no need to store that value. So that's why we have control. And these are applicable for tax related, multiple tax jurisdictions, not applicable for our deductions, current deduction. Once you gave the value here, the section 415 we said, right? Here, the limit you have to define. Select this. Under value, search for collective deferral annual limit. Here, why we are saying 41K, 403B or 457, these are all sections in their law. These are all sections in their laws. So, for example, in India also, we have two things, especially if you talk about Provident Fund. Employee contribution, employer contribution, employee voluntary contribution. If employee contribute 12%, employer also will contribute 12%. Employee also contributing for voluntarily. For additional voluntary, employer not supposed to contribute. So here, that's what we'll say, employer catch-up contributions, employee traditional or growth plans. All the plans together, including as of current calendar year, YTD, current calendar year based on payment date. We already given based on payment date, so no need to enter here. Include current one, not applicable. And then once you maintain these limits, Roth plan, traditional plan, or current plan of, 401k plans should not be more than the amount maintained in this lookup table in the current calendar year. I will explain. And is 401k is pre-tax or post-tax?
It's post-tax.
Pre-tax. Sorry, it's pre-tax. It's employee-friendly tax actually. Sorry, employee-friendly benefits. So what happens here is, let's say we have an employee, Mr. John. He or he is earning 5,000 US dollars as a base pay. Or let's say 10,000 US dollars as base pay. For the post-tax, what happened here? First, employee taxes will be deducted. Let's say $3,000. And the net is $7,000. On this $7,000, multiply by 13 divided by 100. 7,000 multiplied by 13 divided by 100. $910 will be employer contribution. So remember, here the amount has been calculated based on the net amount. This is post-tax scenario. Let's say pre-tax scenario. What is the employee tax here? $3,000. Assume he is paying 30%. Now the same employee, Mr. John, $10,000 is earning base pay. First, we deducted 13% of his 401k amount. It's a pre-tax. First, 401k deduction should happen. So 13% of 10,000 means $1,300 has been deducted. And then what is left? $8,700 is left. $8,700 multiplied by 30 tax. Somewhere around $2,610 is the tax amount. Now, which one is employee friendly? Which option is best for employee? Here he paid only tax 2,610, same earnings. Here he paid $3,000. This is the right? This is employee friendly. So he paid tax only after benefit deduction has happened, which means employee also gained some profit in the sense, some benefit. First, the 401k deducted. That's the huge amount compared to here. Here you contribute 910. Here you can contribute 1,300. Okay, this is employee friendly tax. That's why we'll call pre-tax. Then, yeah. So select pre-tax. And also we have to, when you say pre-tax, federal tax, state tax, local tax, other taxes must be reduced. You should not calculate those taxes. So federal tax reduction, exclude the tax, which means reduction is nothing but you are excluding the tax from this deduction since it's a pre-tax. All are worked deliver. State taxable reduction. Local or city. Reduction means excluding those taxes since it's a pre-tax. One more point I would like to highlight, especially when you're working on 401k benefit plan, if you not map this pre-tax deduction plan level, if you haven't mapped this pre-tax deduction plan level, automatically Workday is not going to calculate nor display on the payslip. So make sure you must define the pre-tax. And here map the 401k benefit plan, Charles bar. So you can also navigate from retirement savings. Okay, let's select our growth plans also. So there are two plans, ma'am. 401k is again it falls under benefits, but let me explain. One plan is employee has to wait till the retirement savings and then employee take the benefits free of tax. Another plan is employee is not retired, but employee needs some amount from his savings, child education, marriage, or healthcare related. Or another one is catch-up contribution. Employee should voluntarily contribute some more amount. That's why we have three things here. We do have employee, employer, voluntary. So select OK. Now we'll proceed for testing. I'm a little afraid, especially this 401k when I would like to test, but I'll give it a try. Which pay group we are running always?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly professional, right? Yeah. Go to the pay group. I'll take Betty. Results are not there, but I will run the payroll for this pay group. First, let me try some other pay group to minimize the testing time. USA, reach. It's okay. We'll run the payroll for this employee. I mean, the entire pay group. There's no option. USA Cinematic Professional. Professional regional. Oh. 2019. Oh, okay. We get to 2000, right? Not 2020. No. So here, let's say if we get a deduction on 2020. Effective from direction is 2020. But we are running the payroll for 2019. Definitely by the date, our direction is not active in the system. So you may not get result. Good that we set to 2000. Professional regional monthly. Let's run for this. Smart calculation. Okay. So the DMD 401k must be processed. If not, we have to troubleshoot. Perfect. Now we'll select few employees and we'll check whether our deduction is working as expected. Because it's a standard calculation, it should work, but let's give it a try. So we'll take this guy, add in Martin. We'll go to his paycheck. Sorry, I printed the payslip. Yeah. We can track here as well. Oh God, he is available. Oh no, it processed. Perfect. So this is the Workday owned one, ma'am. This is the one we created. $173.94 has been calculated. How to do calculation? So his total salary base pay is 2,255.36. And what is his benefit amount? How much he got? 173. 0.07%. 2004 4.74 multiplied by 0. Just go to the worker. 2255.36. So let's go to the worker and see. We will see what is 401k contribution. %. So 2255.36 multiplied by 7 divided by 100. Exactly. So it's coming 157.87.2. Okay. This is how we can bring the benefit deductions. Okay. So quickly, I will also access another task, that is payslip configuration. So payslip configuration in Workday is delivered one, ma'am. No action required from your side. Okay. Only thing was what data you want to display on the payslip. But unfortunately, I want to see employee payslip, but we don't. Any chance? Since I'm gonna log on my account, right? Okay, no worries. So access the task, configure payslip. I'm sorry, maintain payslip configuration. USA. So the template is already available in Workday. We have 7 sections on the payslip. You can override if you would like to. So 7 sections we will have. One is employer paid benefits. So separately in the payslip, you would like to display what is employer paid benefit, what is employee earnings, and then pre-tax, post-tax deduction sections, taxable wages, one section, employee earnings or deductions. You can also here there we are overriding, if you can see. Instead of earnings or deduction, we are saying pre-tax. Instead of deductions, we are saying post-tax. And total employee taxes. And then absence plans if the employee has. If you would like to display the balance. So each section, here we don't need to do any mapping, because whenever we're creating a earning or deduction, for example, whenever we're creating earning or deduction, so we will select certain calculation, add to gross. You remember? Automatically the earning will be displayed here. So we don't have to do any grouping. So here, whatever the name you override, that name will be displayed. For instance, if you see here it is earnings. Okay, they've overridden. If they're not giving this value also, the section display is overridden. Okay, this is printing options. Would like to allow as much as they want to download. Would you like to display employee work address, organization address in the payslip? Would like to display total number of hours worked by the employee for this earning and other options. You can display or you can control. Combine payslips. Combine payslips are nothing but whenever the employee would like to download the payslip. For example, I'm applying for a loan, then my banker asked 3 months of payslips. Separate payslips or total combined payslips on one single page continuously. So these are called printing options. Pay component override names means by any chance, if you would like to override any taxes or any state taxes related data, you can override here. Override in the sense, this is the New York State Disability Insurance. Instead of this value, the customer would like to override this value into this. Okay, so this name will be displayed on the payslip for New York employees, not this pay component. So this is a standard template again. Maybe I will do certain checks. In
What is ID here? What is the column ID?
ID is nothing unique reference ID. For example, we always have to, whenever I am adding one row, and when whatever the tax I want to override, okay, I must enter one unique ID. If I enter same ID, if I enter same ID, Workday will give error message saying that this ID is already in use. So for each pay component you would like to override, you must enter a different, a unique override. It's simple, increment by one. Here 2 1 is there, right? 2 2 2 3 2 4, something like that. Manually will give.
Is there any other benefit that only the reference purpose for the column or any other place we are going to use this one?
Which one you're talking about? ID?
ID. Yeah.
No, no, no. This ID in the payslip, whenever you print or generate the payslip, okay, this component, this ID should, with the help of this component, sorry, with the help of this ID, this pay component data will be print in the payslip. In order to bring the results and each result line, we will maintain a different unique ID.
Okay.
For
And
example,
suppose if I want to give the earnings in the seventh row and deductions in the fifth row, something
you
like
can
it. If I
adjust.
want to
Yeah,
give
yeah,
this, how
you
can
can
we do?
adjust. You can adjust that one. So simply you have to remove one row, add, remove one row, select the wherever, for example, post tax, I want to display first and bring the pre-tax down. I can remove this value and I can add the next one and then I will assign it back. These are adjustable. Normally we have one row up, one row down. So that options are not there, but you can remove it and you can configure it.
So we need to do the adjustments in this columns only. We don't have any other sequence member
No,
like
no,
that.
no, no, only in the columns.
Okay.
Actually, the print payslip option, if you have no, we can explore each and every column. But that's okay. Tomorrow again, I will pick up this topic and give you overview. And also we'll talk about these reversals, ad hoc, on demand. Those also will cover. First, let's cover what are the pending topics, man. And then wherever I stuck, example, the waste to document, and I will take in separate session instead of spending time.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, if you are good, then shall we hold and continue tomorrow?
Yes, yes.